In this video, we will unveil the biggest banned shots of the game, those audacious moves that were too bold for the rulebook. Let's get right in, starting with the miscue shot. At first glance, the miscue might appear as a flaw or a mistake, as it involves only partial contact between the cue tip and the cue ball. However, this is no accidental slip. Players sometimes employ this method intentionally when they find themselves in a bind, specifically when the cue ball is uncomfortably close to another ball. Under normal circumstances, striking the cue ball in such proximity to another ball risks a double hit foul, which can turn the tide of a match by giving the opponent a significant advantage. The ingenious miscue shot comes into play as a strategic countermeasure. By deliberately hitting the cue ball off-center with just a sliver of the tip, the player can avoid the double hit, executing a legal stroke that nudges the cue ball as needed without the risk of fouling. This maneuver allows them to continue their sequence, maintaining control over the table and the pace of the game. While effective, the use of the miscue shot is not without controversy. Snooker pursuits and traditionalists argue that it bends the rules of what constitutes a proper snooker shot. They see it as a loophole that undermines the fundamental challenge of the game, achieving mastery over the cue ball with clean, direct hits. Critics worry that relying on such techniques could dilute the skill factor that is central to snooker's appeal and integrity. Then there is using the spider for leverage. In the intricate dance of snooker, where every shot counts and precision is paramount, there occasionally arises a situation that tests not just a player's skill, but their ingenuity. Such moments often occur when the cue ball finds itself ensnared behind a barricade of other balls, offering no clear line for a shot. It's here that the spider, a tool designed to elevate the cue over obstructing balls, plays a crucial role. However, some players, driven by creativity and a deep understanding of the game's mechanics, have reimagined the traditional use of the spider. Rather than simply using the spider for elevation, these players employ it to gain an unprecedented degree of leverage and angle adjustment. By positioning their hand at the extreme end or side of the spider, they achieve a new level of control and flexibility in their shots. This manipulation allows them to not only hit the cue ball, but to do so with an angle and power that would be unattainable with standard bridging techniques. This inventive use of the spider is seen by some as pushing the boundaries of snooker's conventional play. While it certainly makes difficult shots more feasible, it also raises questions about the spirit of the game. Some purists argue that leveraging the spider in such a way veers away from the intended straightforward use of snooker tools, potentially setting a precedent for further deviations that could alter the face of the game. Now moving on to the block breakoff. Imagine the frustration that seeps in when you deliver what feels like a perfect break, only to see your opponent effortlessly step up and take advantage of your setup. It's a moment that can deflate even the most seasoned players. Mark Williams, renowned for his strategic mind and innovative approach to snooker, grew weary of this recurring scenario. In a move that would stir the waters of the snooker world, he crafted a unique solution, one that remains a subject of debate to this day. Williams devised a break-off strategy that was as clever as it was unconventional. Instead of the standard practice of scattering the reds to maximize the difficulty of the opponent's return, he gently nudged the cue ball among the reds themselves. This subtle maneuver strategically placed the cue ball in such a way that it blocked any potential long shots. The beauty of this tactic was in its simplicity and its sheer effectiveness. The cue ball, nestled covertly among the reds, acted like a shield, severely limiting the opponent's options right from their first stroke. This defensive breakoff strategy was not just a minor tweak, but a fundamental shift in how breakoffs were perceived. Traditionally, a breakoff was seen as a way to start the game with a wide open table, setting the stage for a showcase of precision and skill. Williams's approach turned this notion on its head, introducing a defensive layer right from the outset of the game. The strategy, though entirely within the rules of snooker, sparked a lively debate about sportsmanship and the spirit of the game. Critics argued that snooker was meant to be an open, attacking game, and tactics like these sullied the true nature of the sport. They contended that such strategies, while smart, might lead to a more cautious, less exciting form of play if widely adopted. Supporters, on the other hand, lauded Williams for his ingenuity. They pointed out that snooker, like any sport, is a test of not just skill but strategic acumen. In their view, Williams's breakoff strategy was a brilliant use of the rules to gain a competitive edge, highlighting his tactical genius rather than any unsporting behavior. Despite the controversy, the block breakoff has added a fascinating layer to professional snooker, demonstrating that the game isn't just played on the table, but also in the minds of its players. Before we move on, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. Next, we have the jump shot over reds. The jump shot over reds requires not just a good understanding of the game's rules, but also an exceptional command over the cue and the forces at play. To execute this shot, a player must strike the cue ball with precision, imparting just the right amount of force and spin to propel it upward without losing control. It's a delicate balance. Too much force and the cue ball may careen off course or jump too high and off the table, while too little force won't clear the intervening balls. This shot often comes into play in tightly congested situations, where traditional paths are blocked and the usual finesse shots won't suffice. Here, the player must quickly calculate angles and trajectory, considering both the point of initial contact and the landing zone. This demands not only a deep intuitive grasp of snooker physics, but also the ability to visualize the shot's path before execution. However, the risk associated with this shot cannot be understated. It is fraught with potential fouls, particularly if the cue ball strikes another ball before its intended target or fails to land properly. The rules around jump shots in snooker are stringent, and any deviation can result in penalties. Thus, while the jump shot over reds is a powerful tool in a player's arsenal, it is often reserved for moments when no other shot will suffice. Now towards the delicate roll-up shot. In snooker, the delicate roll-up shot epitomizes the art of subtlety and strategic finesse. This technique involves gently positioning the cue ball behind another ball to obstruct the opponent's next move, a tactic known as laying a snooker. The challenge lies in the precision of the touch. Too light and the cue ball stops short, too hard and it overshoots or disrupts the surrounding balls, risking a foul. Executing this shot successfully requires a keen understanding of the table's nuances, including the slickness of the cloth and the weight of the cue ball. It's a test of patience and precision, demanding a player's full control over their cue action and foresight. This move not only complicates the game for the opponent, but also shifts the momentum, offering a strategic edge. The delicate roll-up is less about showmanship and more about smart play, making it a fundamental skill for tactical snooker players. It illustrates that in snooker, sometimes the most effective shots are those that speak softly yet impact the game profoundly. And then there is playing with the opposite hand. Playing with the opposite hand in snooker is a testament to a player's adaptability and deep skill set. Initially, this unconventional approach drew skepticism. Critics questioned its effectiveness and its place in traditional gameplay, where mastery is often measured by the precision of a player's dominant hand. However, as the sport has evolved, so has the appreciation for this versatile technique. The ability to switch hands effectively broadens a player's range of possible shots, enabling them to handle situations where using the dominant hand might prove cumbersome or ineffective. For example, certain table layouts can create awkward angles or require stretching beyond comfortable limits, where switching to the non-dominant hand offers a practical solution. This skill does more than just solve geometric puzzles on the table. It introduces a psychological element to the game. An opponent who suddenly finds themselves facing a player who can switch hands effortlessly might feel unsettled, unsure of what to expect next. This element of surprise can disrupt an opponent's rhythm and concentration, giving the ambidextrous player a strategic advantage. Up next, the improvised rest shot. When faced with an unusual angle or a difficult reach, players might find the typical spider or rest ineffective. It's in these scenarios that altering the grip or adjusting the angle of these tools can make all the difference. Such adjustments might involve tilting the rest at an unconventional angle or using a less orthodox grip to stabilize the cue during a tricky shot. This kind of quick thinking and adaptability not only demonstrates technical skill, but also a deep understanding of the mechanics of snooker equipment. More importantly, it reflects a player's ability to remain calm and inventive in high-pressure situations. These improvised solutions often turn potentially disadvantageous positions into opportunities, subtly shifting the momentum of the game. And finally, the jumping the object ball. The jump shot over an object ball in snooker is among the sport's most audacious and visually striking maneuvers. This daring stroke isn't just about making a ball fly. It's a calculated display of skill that blends precision, power, and impeccable timing. The objective here is to make the cue ball hop over an intervening ball to strike its intended target, a feat that can turn the tide in a closely contested match. Executing a successful jump shot requires a player to meticulously gauge the force and angle of their strike. The cue must contact the cue ball at just the right spot, typically near the bottom, to create enough lift without sacrificing control. The margin for error is slim. Too much power and the cue ball might leap off the table or hit an unintended ball, resulting in a foul and potentially giving the advantage to the opponent. However, when executed with perfection, the jump shot is more than just a rule-compliant play. It's a bold statement of a player's mastery and confidence in their handling of the cue. It demands a thorough understanding of the physical dynamics at play, how the cue's speed and angle affect the ball's trajectory and behavior upon landing. This shot is not commonly used due to its high risk and the level of skill required. Yet in moments where traditional paths are blocked and the game's stakes are high, the jump shot can provide a spectacular solution. And that's it for this video. Do you think there are more? Let us know in the comments. For more snooker content, click on the screen right now.